So it makes you wonder who's the decision maker for the Browns if the Mannings seem to be the decision makers for the Saints and the Giants. And the fact that Dylan went through this Manning passing academy and he ends up in Cleveland a third round when he was undrafted in 2024, which, makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, right? So I think he went through the academy in 2024, getting ahead of the 2025 draft. But see, he wanted to come out in the 2024 draft. So maybe going to the Manning Academy worked for him. Since Tyler Shaw has a relationship with Arch Manning, we understand a relationship with Jackson Dart with Arch Manning. We understand a relationship with Arch Manning with the Saints and the Giants. Maybe there's a connection with the Browns too. Maybe it's Haslam. Maybe it's Stefanski. Maybe it's both. But we all know that Dylan Gabriel is not better than Shedeur. And with Haslam coming out and saying Shedeur wasn't his pick and staying quiet while Stefanski, being a good servant leader, wields his prejudice and discrimination against Shedeur, holding him back behind Dylan Gabriel, it tells you that there's more to the story than meets the eye. So it just seems to me that Stefanski has decided to be the person that carries out the directives of the people we can't see behind the scenes. And the Mannings are involved. Now, remember, the Mannings know the Sanders, right? And people like to pretend that the Mannings have a pedigree that the Sanders don't have. And I've said it to people. Maybe they just have different fan bases. But the Sanders are iconic. Not just the players in the family, the whole damn family. And it seems like because they know who the Mannings are and a lot of black people follow the Sanders, it's like they want to discount the Sanders. But a lot of white people follow the Sanders too, right? But they want to put the Mannings over the Sanders, which is probably why Shiloh has a target on his back. Also why, in addition to Shedeur being a black quarterback, he was blocked from New Orleans. He was blocked from the Giants. And the Mannings were involved in both of those situations. So much so that the Saints sent Tyler Shuck there to try to get it together. I watched that preseason game. It didn't work because it's more to being a quarterback than passing the ball. As I said it before, they're afraid to get hit. So it seems like to me that Stefanski is just happy to do the bidding of those that want to remain anonymous.
What was it like seeing those guys step up in that role?
Yeah, that's the exciting part. Yeah, pleased with Shadeur, pleased with the offense. Again, not perfect, plenty that we can work on, but I thought the guys did a really nice job of Shadeur and operating, the guys making plays. So, again, a ton to teach off of.
And he thought he was doing something. So under organizational mismanagement, right, organizational malpractice, if you don't create a supportive environment, right, if you don't create an environment to be supportive to your employees, especially one in particular, or maybe two, right? Or to your black employees. Not only is that discrimination, it also checks off a box of organizational malpractice. And Kevin Stefanski has proven so many times that he's not supportive of Shedeur. He's proven so many times by withholding first team reps, by saying you have to prove it, but not giving an example of how he hasn't. But then when this right here is evidence. This is after a game that Shedeur balled out after being deprived of first team reps, that he had to go and self-develop. That means this is proof that Kevin Stefanski has not created a supportive environment for Shedeur Sanders. That's what this is. So all those awards mean nothing. It's what you do that matters. And he is guilty of creating an unsupportive environment for Shedeur. But they don't seem interested in trading him, do they? So I hope Kevin Stefanski doesn't think that he's going to spend the season kicking on Shedeur, whether it's behind closed doors or with thinly veiled language in public, because we are watching. So let me know your thoughts about these interviews. Let me see what y'all think. I'm going to hop over here in the comments and see what y'all are thinking. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out today. All right, let's see. Hey, Tina, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, Sharon, how's everybody doing? Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, take a moment and hit the like button for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Salute. Please watch Miles Presser today. They tried it. Okay, I will. I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't have a chance to focus on it, but I will. Thank you. Hey, Regina, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? How you doing? The Browns have released. Who have the Browns released? And Mike Tomlin doesn't have one. Crazy. Yeah, crazy, right? Mike Tomlin doesn't have one, and Brian Flores was fired for not having a losing season, which means they're going to come for Mike Tomlin regardless. And yeah, he don't have an award, but Stefanski does. There is no CEO style of leadership from him. That's not what it is at all. It said, if somebody's trolling, y'all have tools, please use them. If not, I could do it. Mike Tomlin has never won a Coach of the Year award. He was better than Kevin Stefanski. Privilege, right? Definitely privilege. Definitely privilege. It said they have 5 quarterbacks now. So what has transpired? Eunice said they have 6, not 5. It said Kevin Stefanski's executive skills need to be fired immediately. He does need to be fired immediately. He is the one that has the Browns under a microscope. He is the visible problem in Cleveland. And there are clearly people propping him up, right? Because no owner would allow you to devalue and discriminate against and hold back from winning the face of the franchise. And you know how I know he's the face of the Cleveland Browns? Because on their pro shop, it's Shedeur Sanders. I received a post today from the Cleveland Browns wanting to sell me a Shedeur Sanders jersey and a t-shirt. And it said he showed up and showed out. I'm like, it's funny how he can show up and show out, but not get credit, right? Not get feedback to grow on, because he doesn't want to encourage him to grow. Kevin Stefanski said in his what? Post-draft press conference. Yeah, we know exactly who Shedeur is. He going to come in. He going to work hard, this, that, and the other. And then when he said, you know, Coach Prime did a good job raising him, this, that, and the other, after that, he made a total 360. A total 360. So now he's not comfortable with Shedeur. Shedeur has done nothing to this man. But you see Cleveland running out here to coddle people who have criminal charges. Whether they were dropped or not, they at one point had criminal charges. That's okay. But Shedeur gets kicked for being a good guy. I'm sure if he wasn't a quarterback, it might not be a problem. But because they want to, and they keep saying it, you know, the quarterback is the most, you know, we have high standards for this role, or the quarterback is the most important position in a team. They have said that so many times. It's like they're trying to tell you, because it's the most important position on the team, we can't get Shedeur, which means you pre-draft with him extensively, which is fraud, right? And they said when Stefanski was at CU Pro Day, he was focusing more on Travis, trying to let it be known that he didn't fly down there to look at Shedeur. You weren't going to get Travis either. You weren't going to get Travis either because he don't have no criminal record. So he think he doing something. He has some type of charity, right? Which is supposed to be for underprivileged kids. And he has a photo and a team. I think there's some kind of team he sponsors. And I said underprivileged kids. I looked at all of the photos. Cleveland is 42%, if not 52% Black. And I know they have some underprivileged kids, because what did Shedeur do? He went there to Garden Valley where people were removed from their homes, displaced, because why? Of an explosion. I didn't see him out there. And when I looked at the photos, I saw one black kid and he was standing next to it. And I'm like, is that Andrew Berry's son? How do you have a football team in Cleveland with one black kid on it? How do you have underprivileged kids and you don't have anybody else that's black? But you stand by the one black kid. I'm like, that must be Andrew Berry's kid, because, or the coach's kid, because the coach was black. All the players on the team were white. It said, I think Deion Sanders will become a coach in the NFL in 2 seasons. He's not about to allow this storyline to continue and intervene if necessary. Who he gonna work for? Who he gonna work for? Jerry Jones? Because that's about it. And I don't think that's gonna happen. We're gonna talk about Shedeur Sanders and Micah Parsons tonight. I just give you a snippet. It looks like the two, Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones, the Cowboys, are headed for a divorce. That's the term that's being used. And I said this was gonna happen. Because if you wanted to sign him, you would sign him. And it seems like they're saying supposedly he and Jerry were having an informal conversation while they were out somewhere and end up shaking hands during the conversation. And Jerry wants Micah to stick to whatever it was they were discussing, but it's not recorded. And Micah wants him to talk to his agent. His agent is David Mulugeta, who I think is representing Juju, or wants to, but I think might be. He's a black agent. And, I think it's interesting that they refuse to talk to him. And for all of the people that keep saying Shedeur should have had an agent, Micah Parsons has an agent. The Cowboys refuse to talk to him. Anthony Richardson just got his job stolen from underneath his feet and given to the guy that failed for 6 years in New York named Daniel Jones. And he has an agent. Did it work for him? So no, Shedeur didn't need an agent. They know exactly who Shedeur is. They have told us many times in their post-draft press conference. The NFL has told us many times in their draft profile of Shedeur. And every other outlet that does scouting combines and profiles told us who Shedeur was. The number 1 pick coming out of school, until they decided to pair him up with Deshaun Watson and pigeonhole him to Cleveland under false pretenses. Because the way they're treating him now, they just want him to get the hell on. That's all it is. But do you see them willing to trade him? Because they can't. I showed you the chart yesterday, right? Where you gonna go? You can't trade him from another fourth string, because he not 4th string. And another team gonna be like, I don't want to deal with that. If he can't come over here as QB1, his fans and NFL fans gonna be standing on my head. And that's facts. So he gonna be right there. And Kevin Stefanski gonna rotate every quarterback they had, just like they did in 2023. And he gonna try to give the victory to Joe Flacco at the end of the season. Well, let's see if he make it. Reminder, Joe Flacco has up to $13 million in incentives in his 1-year contract of $4 million. That's motivation to get off of your couch and start week 1. It said, great job. You be doing your thing. I love you and the show. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Devon. Thank you so much. It said they have 6 QBs. It said Stefanski shouldn't have been named coach of the year in 2023. D'Amico Ryans should have been named coach of the year. A rookie head coach taking his team 10-7 to the playoffs in his first year. Oh, that's the Texans head coach, C.J. Stroud's coach. Right. And C.J. Stroud put that team on his back. And look what happened in year 2. And at the end of this year, they were already saying, after C.J. Stroud got sacked excessively in his sophomore season so he don't get back, they try to pick apart the team to the point people were asking, what the hell is going on with the Texans? Facts. They make these black head coaches, these black quarterbacks' lives difficult, try to snatch their dream away of being not only successful, but successful and celebrated. Successful and celebrated. I think about how when I'm traveling, right? Or if I'm in Houston, I see Astros commercials with the players, right? For HEB. If you know what HEB is, I say now it's a flagship high-end grocery store. It can be, it just depends, called Central Market, right? So they have the Astros to advertise every year. CJ Stroud advertise every year. I never see anything else like that. I never see it. Maybe because I'm not in a different city, but I do travel, right? So you would think that on a national level, you would think you would see, just like you see Anthony Edwards in ads. Who is the NFL equivalent that's in these national ads? I mean, Shedeur came through the door with it. It should be Shedeur, right? They should just increase his Nike presence. But who exists in the NFL that is celebrated with these type of endorsements, celebrates the success, the endorsements, furthers their success financially, face of the brand like Anthony Edwards is for the NBA and Adidas? Who is that person right now? Let me know. Drop some names in the chat. All right. Elijah says Tyler Huntley was released. Okay, I trust you, Elijah. Where did you see that, by the way? Let me know where you saw it. It said it's awful leadership there. Right, it is. And I'm like, I don't know how he won awards. Like, they must be awarding him for something else. Awarding him for something else. Hey, Simply Sarah, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It says Shedeur has been the best in practice and in the game, better all around. Right, which is why Kevin Stefanski should be fired. It's a number of things he should be fired for. But, you know, that just falls into organizational malpractice, discrimination. That's what it is. If you listen to his language, you know, we have such high standards for this position. He can't even call Shedeur a quarterback. He calls him a thrower. He can't even provide feedback. So how are we supposed to even trust you that he didn't earn reps? You're trying to set it up like he failed, but then when he goes out and balls out, you can't even give him praise. That checks off the boxes of organizational malpractice. And then I guess Barry is not going to trade him away because he knows Shedeur is an asset. He said it. Shedeur will outproduce his draft stock. If that's the case, they know he's going to be better than the 3 or the 2. You don't say that if you're moving up 1. Somebody said, when did they release Tyler Huntley? Tyler Huntley was not released today. All right. Elijah, are y'all reading the old story about when he was released? Somebody send me a link and let me know, or I'm going to have to stop and look it up. Thank you. It said they are putting negative narratives out. Shedeur doesn't take feedback well. Oh, okay. Yeah. And that's not true, right? Because remember when he was on the side talking to Andrew Barry, and Barry was telling him you did well. He said, you a little pleased. You know, he was, that's just not true. That's why I said Shedeur being mic'd up was a saving grace. It saw how genuine he was, right? And that's no different than, you know, how he is most of the times. It's just, they just don't want to say it out loud. Like they told Marlon Briscoe, yeah, you're good, but we don't want you to be our quarterback because you're black. They can't say that in 2025. But so they're trying to find ways to say it without being accused of racism or investigated for discrimination again, or be sued for civil rights violations again. Already 2 cases open, settled 1 case. 2021, 2022, 2025. The public lashing is really shameful. Facts. And I saw something today. Do y'all remember when Coach Prime had his show? I don't know what it's called. Could be Deion's Playbook. And Shedeur, they transferred to a new school. And the first day was kind of rough for him. And when Coach Prime was coaching him up and encouraging him and telling him, I got you. And, you know, having him to do something by himself so he could have confidence, right? Like being a true coach, but he was being a father. And people were saying this is why Shedeur is okay in Cleveland. He was built for this moment. Because last night I was like, you know, these types of situations are tough on young people. But then I remembered something. Shedeur is not isolated, right? We see people embracing him. This is why. This is why, right? But see, Cleveland doesn't ever foresee any of those players being questioned or an investigation for whether it's discrimination, civil rights violations, organizational malpractice. They don't ever foresee a situation where they will be investigated and everybody that works there questioned. But that's why people are coming around him. One, because he's the best, and two, because of how he's being treated by Stefanski. He's being iced out by Stefanski because he wants him gone. And I don't think it's just because Dylan's his pick, because that's just a weird obsession at this moment. It's because he's been entrusted to hold Shedeur back and not let him get to the franchise QB long-term starter spot. And they don't want that. They want to wait till next year. It said, let's be real. These white coaches can't relate to these black players, especially the QBs. They used to statue QBs, and they don't know how to coach athletic QBs. I'm a former coach from Little League. Oh, okay, to high school. Oh, okay, thank you, Rodney. Thank you. Oh, well, I mean, that's one of the reasons. That's actually a good point. That's one of the reasons that they don't like Coach Prime. Not just because he's black, because he'll be relatable to the players, because the players will want to go there, because he'll do a better job of caring about them. It is a known fact. At these big schools, before Coach Prime arrived, with non-black coaches, they don't care about the players. They don't care about the players at all. And it was worse before NIL. That's why they were opposed to NIL. I'm out here treating you like trash, but you about to make more than me. Facts. Primetime JJ. I don't know what the league gonna do when he show up, because he just as big as Shedeur, and he's a wide receiver. He had a signing somewhere publicly. Must be, wherever he go to school, Ohio State, somewhere up in that area. It looked like a concert, people waiting to get in. Yelling, screaming, crying. I'm like, oh my God. Kid already has the Lambo. Or if not, he can afford to rent one. Name is Primetime JJ. When I first came across him last year before the Natty, I said, what is his nickname? Primetime JJ. I don't know what they're going to do with him. You trying to shut down Shedeur, you ain't going to shut him down. He ain't playing the most important position. So let me see what you're going to do with him. See, a lot of these kids are going to come out like that. I watch people play youth sports, 7-on-7, flag football, tackle 7-on-7, whatever you want to call it. They have these kids on camera after every game asking them their social. They have them with these fly uniforms. They have them doing their celebratory dances. They can put on their glasses. They are confident from Little League now. So Primetime JJ, imagine if they had that when he was in Little League. So you got a kid coming behind him that's going to be primetime somebody else. You're not going to tell these kids to leave it at the door. You working overtime and confused. You trying to smother Shadeur's success and profit off of it at the same time. I mean, that's just the very definition of confusion. Social media. He showed up and showed out in Cleveland, but he 4 straight. That don't go together. That does not go together. And Kevin Stefanski is starting to stand out like a sore thumb, because holding Shedeur back behind Dylan is malfeasance. No matter how much people try to spin Dylan's performance, 54 PFF rating is below average. It's not working. They keep trying it, but it's not sticking. And the people who like Dylan are just falling to the wayside. So Kevin Stefanski, people are calling for him to be fired. And it needs to happen. Either he got to go or Shedeur got to go. But somebody going to move on. And to be honest with you, you would think they would trade him. But you can kind of see that there's internal politics with Barry. I'm going to get this guy for $4 million, even though he ain't get him, but that's how he acting, right? Well, he's my guy, and I'm not going to let him go. I'm going to get something for him. But they both know that Shedeur is a franchise QB and worth more than a 5th round pick, should not be 4 straight. That's why I don't like neither one of them. They both are snakes. So I'm glad the other players are starting to embrace Shedeur publicly, right? And I think it'll continue to happen. But when you look at Isaiah Bond getting there after having criminal charges, and I read that Stefanski said they were working with him for months, learning about his case. They probably helped him get out of it. Yeah, I would not doubt it. Quinshon Junkins too. They'll want to do that for them. And Isaiah Bond gets first team reps, but only Shedeur Sanders, the elite QB1, that when you put him at the helm of the game with real talent, he gonna ball out better than he did with the Panthers. And that's what they don't want because he's black. That's criminal. I know the Panthers wanted Shedeur Sanders. I said it. I said I think they crushing on him. So they ended up with a fourth string. And if they were crushing on him and they like, well, yeah, he ain't gonna be fourth string over here. They like, well, we can't do it because Cleveland is invested with the owner himself holding Shedeur back. He wasn't my pick and allowing Stefanski to run rogue. The owner's in on it too. And all the owners took Shedeur off the board. So they're still colluding. And I asked the question the other day, when are the owners going to stop colluding against Shedeur? Because we know you did. It's not like you can't say you did. Everybody know you did. And we also know that's why he being held back. That explains Kevin Stefanski's weird obsession with Dylan being a wedge and a pet at the same time. He's a pet because Stefanski wants Dylan to be the wedge, so I got to make you think you better than him. And like some children, right, who are not mature enough to understand what's really going on, Dylan fell for it. When they trying to get their franchise QB next year, so what you going to be next year? They third string again? So you just good with being mediocre. And you think you something because you holding back Shedeur. You ain't holding Shedeur back. It just ain't time for him to move forward. Understand that. Hey, Miss T. Lou, how you doing? How you doing? Yep, that's coaching. Canales was coaching after the press conference. He even said nice things about Tyler Huntley. It said D'Amico Ryans also had a rookie QB when he went 10-7. Wow. Yep. CJ Stroud. You would think that the Panthers head coach was Shadeur's head coach. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Gemini. K. Bishop said this dude. Yeah, just total trash. Stefanski talking to Shedeur threw 2 picks and fumbled a handoff. Right. I didn't even listen to, I'm going to be honest with y'all. It took a lot of strength and willpower to listen to him. I have never listened to his press conference because I know he's full of it. I've read about it because, AI going to give you the tea. So I read about it, but I was like, Lord, give me strength to listen to this. And I listened to it, and I'm telling y'all, we're going to listen to another one. The one that he did on August 11th is worse than this. So I'm like, this is your performance level. This you putting on a show, and you still can't get it right. So when he went back home in front of the Browns media, it was worse. So we're going to look at that too. We're going to react to that too. So our reaction stomach, we still in reaction mode. It said he seems annoyed, like he just wanted to miss T. What did he want to do? Hurry up and get past it. He was so quick to lump in everybody else with Shedeur. He didn't want to talk about Shedeur individually. These are the things he going to get fired for. It's coming. Mark my words. It might not be today because why? The owner appreciates his work, his servitude. So it's going to take some wrangling, but it's going to happen. It said the dude is a fraud. Right. It said, thanks for the truth, Selmo. Yeah, he just really is. I'm still confused about how this man won 2 coaches of the year because he's a servant leader. I never thought he was a good coach. Right. And remember when Camaro Kitchen came the other day and said Stefanski should have been fired 2 years ago? I don't think Deshaun Watson was really injured like they said he was. I'm starting to wonder, and I don't think it's Deshaun's doing. I think it's the team's doing, and I don't know how you investigate that, but forensics can get it done. So it would be nice. You know what I want for Christmas? I want the Cleveland Browns, who is currently under a microscope. I want there to be an investigation or a lawsuit launched against the Cleveland Browns for organizational malpractice. I believe so many people have been hurt and abused and discriminated against. And when I think about Deshaun Kaiser going 0-15 before Stefanski got there, it needs to be looked into. I think a lot of wrongs have to come to light, and Shadeur having 4 million fans is the one to get it done. And I think after those kind of things start to take place, or at least get in motion, that we have all of the evidence and the information that we need to look into, Shadeur gonna be gone. He gonna be gone. And it's their karma, because they pre-draft with him under false pretenses and built him up to believe he was going to make $46 million. And then when they got him for $4 million, they want to devalue him and stick him at the back of the depth chart. Those two don't go together. So Barry and Stefanski and Haslam, they all got to go. It's time to clean house in Cleveland. The team needs to be forced to be sold. Look at how Stefanski is treating Shedeur and think about Donald Sterling and why he was forced to sell his team. Haslam is allowing Stefanski to abuse Shedeur Sanders. I stand on that in court.